All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about one of the most confusing and, let's be honest, painful moments in a relationship, when your partner asks for space. It's such a simple phrase, but man, it can trigger a tidal wave of panic. Today, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens and what it really truly means.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? It's that sudden, cold drop in your stomach, a jolt of anxiety that feels so personal, so immediate. It's a moment that can make even the most solid relationship feel like it's suddenly on shaky ground.
Yeah, just 6 little words, so simple, but they can feel like a total gut punch, can't they? Instantly creating this wall of distance and uncertainty. But what if we've been translating them all wrong?
So why does this one request hit so hard? Well, it's pretty clear when you look at the psychology. For a lot of us, closeness is the currency of connection. It equals safety, it equals love. So when he takes a step back, our brain's alarm system doesn't just ring, it basically screams abandonment.
And this, right here, is where it gets so fascinating. Look at the disconnect. On one side, you've got your brain's interpretation, this deep, primal fear of abandonment, because for you, closeness equals connection. But on the other side, his reality is often just a need for solitude, to restore his own energy, to regulate his system. It's not about pushing you away, it's about him pulling himself back together.
So, and this is absolutely crucial, that intense panic you're feeling, it isn't necessarily proof that the relationship is doomed. It's a biological reaction. It's literally your attachment system, which is hardwired to keep you connected, totally misinterpreting the signal.
Okay, so this brings us to the absolute heart of this whole explainer. We need a fundamental mindset shift. It's not about personal rejection, it's about a mechanical reset. Think of it less like a breakup and more like a computer that just needs to reboot.
And this slide just illustrates that shift perfectly. Just look at this. On one side, you've got all those fears spinning in your head. He's rejecting me, he's losing interest. Now, look at the reality on the other side. He's regulating himself. He's recharging his ability to connect. See? These aren't just different words, they are completely different worlds. One is all about you, and the other is all about him.
If you remember nothing else, please remember this. His need for distance isn't a measurement of his love for you. It's a measurement of his need to feel like himself again. The second you stop taking his pullback personally, I promise you, everything changes.
You know, there's actually a word for this process, recalibration. He's not moving away from you, he's moving toward himself. He's trying to restore that internal sense of control, that sense of grounding that allows him to show up as a good partner. It's a retreat, yeah, but it's for the purpose of a stronger return.
So, to really get this, we basically have to become translators, because when he says he needs space, he's often not speaking your emotional language, he's speaking his, and we just need to learn the dialect.
Think of this table as your personal decoder ring. What you hear is, "You're smothering me," or "He just doesn't care." But what he actually means is often something like, "I'm emotionally flooded and I need to reset," or "I'm just cooling down so I don't say something I'll regret." The intent here isn't to harm the connection, it's actually to protect it.
And this difference in language, it really comes from a fundamental difference in how we're often wired to process things. As you can see here, women often process big emotions through connection, through sharing. But guys, they often process through solitude, through silence. Now, one isn't better than the other. They're just different operating systems. He's not shutting you out. He's just going inward to untangle his own thoughts.
So, knowing all this, what happens when we react from that place of panic? You know, what happens when we chase? Well, as you can probably guess, it totally backfires. It creates this awful, counterproductive cycle that actually just makes everything worse.
Okay, so let's walk through this, because it's such a vicious cycle. Step 1, he withdraws to process. That's his recalibration thing. Step 2, you pursue him, trying to get that connection back. But step 3 is the key. His nervous system registers your pursuit not as love, but as pressure. And the result? Step 4, he retreats even further to find the very safety he was looking for in the first place.
And this is a really tough pill to swallow, but it's so important. Every single "Are you okay?" text, every "We need to talk" during his withdrawal. It can inadvertently train his brain to associate you with that feeling of being overwhelmed. You accidentally become linked with pressure, not the comfort you're desperately trying to provide.
Okay, so if chasing is the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The answer, weirdly enough, is in the magnetic, almost paradoxical power of giving him the one thing he's asking for: space.
So why does this magic work? Well, first off, it lets his nervous system finally settle down. But it's more than that. It creates a vacuum. It actually reminds him what he's missing. And in that quiet, he can remember why he chose you in the first place, free from all that pressure. Suddenly, your calm, your trust, it becomes magnetic.
I mean, this quote right here, it just nails it. Attraction doesn't grow under pressure. It grows in the pause. You can't force it. You can't demand it. It has to grow on its own, and it thrives in those quiet moments.
Okay, so let's be real. This is the hardest part, right? It's one thing to understand all this in your head, but how do you actually do it? How do you give him space without feeling like you're completely losing yourself in the process? The key is all about redirecting your energy.
So this is your do this, not that playbook. Instead of waiting by the phone, you reconnect with your friends. Instead of obsessing over his mood, you go do something that makes you feel alive. See the shift? It's from making him your entire focus to reclaiming your own emotional center.
And just to be super clear, this is not about playing games. It's not about pretending you don't care. This is about genuine self-care. Because when you fill your own cup, you just naturally stop radiating that anxious, needy energy. And instead, you start radiating a calm confidence that is so attractive.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Understanding this dynamic isn't just some strategy to keep a man. No way. It's about becoming a woman who is so secure in herself, so centered, that she becomes absolutely unforgettable. Honestly, it's a superpower. So let's boil it all down. If you walk away with just one single thought, let it be this. His need for space is not a sign the relationship is ending. It's a sign his nervous system is resetting. That's it. So, I'm going to leave you with one last question to really chew on. What if you just reframed this whole painful experience? What if his need for space isn't a threat, but an opportunity? An opportunity for you to build your own emotional resilience, to reconnect with yourself, and to become even more magnetic in the process. What if it's actually your chance to grow?